fantastic. I actually have a tarot journal that says Mark's Journey right here. So I'm Mark, and this is my journey through tarot. Today, what I'm going to do y'all know who Melania is. I'm going to use this amazing radiant Rider-Waite deck. They're radiant because of the coloring in the cards, and you'll see that. Here we go. Laptop down. I've actually been shuffling these cards quite a bit today, and I don't know why I haven't used them in these readings sooner, because I love them. The coloring is fantastic. I guess I've just gotten carried away with looking at all the different decks I have, because I have quite a few that are in this, I guess you could say, genre of the Rider-Waite depictions. But you know, you start to look for what's different and hope that you'll find something that speaks to you, and often I do. And then I've closed them. And what I did for a long time is I kept all the cards out of their containers with me or right here on the desk to kind of soak up some energy. And since that, after a while, I put them back in their cartons. But once you bring them, hey, go ahead and subscribe. It's not hard. Do it for me. Bring them out again. It feels like they need to be kind of woken up. And so that's what we'll do right now. And hopefully you'll get to see a little bit of the how these look as I do this shuffle. Some folks like to shuffle the cards so that you don't see the depictions, but what's the difference? I mean, you're not placing the pictures anywhere. You can't you know, order the cards through shuffling, unless I suppose you're some sort of an amazing card shark, which I of course am not. I'm barely able to get the things shuffled. But anyway, one more riffle shuffle. I think I'm going to cut this deck 2, maybe 3 times or more. And one more shuffle. Yeah, that was good. And so now we're going to say, this will be a Celtic cross, 6. If that 6 looks good, we'll do another 4. What is going on with Melania right now? What's going through her mind? I'm wondering if she's thinking of hanging on until all the money's gone, or if she's going to make a break sooner than we thought. The signifier card for this read, then, is going to be the 6 of Pentacles. And as a matter of fact, the 6 of Pentacles is kind of distribution of wealth, or of some sort of value. And so I'm wondering if she sees herself like this. It must be. It's a signifier card. So the Six of Pentacles talks about distributing your value amongst those who you would give it to. They don't necessarily have to be deserving of your value. They have to be folks that you are willing to dole it out to. Who could those folks be? Is that Donald and maybe Barron? That's kind of how I feel right now. This is Donald and Barron. Donald and Barron. That's what I think. And this is Melania. Okay, the challenge to that 6 of Pentacles, where she's doling out her wealth to mostly Barron, or all to Barron, is going to be the 9 of Swords. And the 9 of Swords talks about really nightmares, danger. You can see the darkness here and the distress in this person's, the way they compose themselves. So clear that what's challenging this 6 of Pentacles, having to dole out their value, is a nightmare. Okay, so that's the challenge. The base of this reading then is the 5 of Swords, and that's an abuse of power. And we're wondering if she hasn't suffered through an abuse of power in so many ways. She's witnessed the abuse of power that her husband imposed on the country. Certainly, I'm sure there's been an abuse of power in their relationship, and maybe she's finally figured out that he is just an abuse of power distributor. Okay, so the base of this reading is the abuse of power. The recent past that would have a bearing on this situation then is the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man is having to be suspended in time and maybe take a beat, take a time out. This Hanged Man isn't being tortured as being hung, but his head is encircled by light, so you know that he's looking for enlightenment for whatever reason. They're casually hanging off this tree, and with whatever effort, this person could reach up and undo themselves. So the recent past here is having been in suspension. I wonder if that's not indicative of her time in the White House, which I can imagine she felt was just a huge waste of her time. In the sky of this reading then is going to be the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords really talks about taking a rest, taking a beat. So you can see this person, typically a knight, who this would be a sarcophagus probably for a knight, before they've gone into battle, they might take a moment to really get their thoughts together. After they come back from battle, they might be in the sarcophagus, but if they've survived, they might actually take a rest on their coffin, which a lot of them have these situations already worked out ahead of time. And you can see that to rise up too soon could be a danger to this knight, and but they still have their protection of their sword, or their truth, with them. So I'm going to say that this Four of Swords, meaning taking a break from whatever has been bothering you, is what's in the sky. In other words, what's likely happening right away for Melania. The likely outcome of this very generalized reading for her is the world. So the world is a complete restart, a complete new cycle that is happening. It's going to happen. It has already happened, and there's no way to get around it. The old cycle has stopped, and the new one has begun. And I think that old cycle is just what we were talking about, that her probably feeling her wasted time in the White House, and now she's ready to get something else going. Does it involve Mr. D? So now we're going to talk about, we're going to do the next four, then we're going to talk about the her immediate situation. And the immediate thing is the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords can mean truth, it can mean justice, it can mean health. It looks to me like this Ace of Swords in her here and now is, I'm gonna go forward. I'm gonna do what I know I have to do to make my situation the best. It could also jointly be talking about the justice that was doled out for that trial. Although it may not seem like justice, but we did have a majority of the senators voted to convict, although that wasn't enough to enforce the impeachment. But that's what we have here. We have the Ace of Swords, gonna make something happen. And I'm aiming at victory. You better believe it. That's who that woman is. The environment that she is in for making this happen is the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands, this person has been through it. You can see that they're really exhausted from whatever's happened in this recent past, with all these actions that have been going on, these 8 other actions, and she's holding, or he's holding that last wand. But so what this person's environment is to this new start, and for feeling that they're gonna get something done for their truth, is that they've been exhausted in battle. The hopes and fears is, in fact, the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups are celebrations. And there's just no ins, and or buts about it. Three of Cups are celebrations, and that's what this person is hoping for, I would say. And, of course, that's Melania. The likely outcome of this situation, then, is moving on, the Two of Wands. You can see this person is looking at their options in that world right there. They're holding steadfast to an actionable wand in one hand, while they've got another wand securely fastened in their past, and they're moving on to what else is going to happen in their life. So, very interesting read. I think it's very indicative of her, and I'll go back through it quickly one more time. So it looks like Melania is looking at doling out her worth. And who is it going to be doled out to? I think she's going to be giving it to Baron, and Mr. D is going to be left wanting. But what challenged that is the nightmare of what she's been through, as far as being in the White House and this trial and all this public nasty attention that she never had. She only had wonderful attention as being Mrs. D until that point. The base of that reading was the Five of Swords, which dealt with an abuse of power, which I'm sure he's imposed on anyone that's been in his circle. The recent past was having been suspended in time while you try to figure out what else is going to happen, how you're going to rebirth yourself. The up in the sky was taking almost having to take a break and wait until you go on to your next battle. The most likely outcome of all of that was new beginnings, feeling as if she's going to definitely make this happen, although she's feeling embattled and battle weary. Her hopes is that this will be successful and worthy of celebrations, and the likely outcome is that she will be moving on, making some plans for the future. So it seems very clear to me. It looks to me like Melania is not long for Mr. D. Unless, of course, he comes up with a bunch more money. And we'll see. Hey, did you remember to subscribe? You said you would. Please, go ahead and subscribe. Do it now. Anyway, I'm Mark. This is my journey through tarot. Thank you so much for coming by. I truly, truly appreciate that you took the time to watch this video. All my love out to you, and